Hey, hey, hey. All right. So, first off, if I sound a little froggy, I lost my voice earlier in the week and I'm still a little funny sounding. So, I do apologize in advance for if my voice does any funny things or if you hear me taking a sip of my drink or anything like that. Okay. So, first off, I love that you have a mailing list right here off the bat. It is not distracting. It flows really beautifully with the color. Honestly, I'm loving the branding I'm seeing on your website. So, just off first glance here, I'm a little nervous to keep going in. And I say that because it already is drawing me in, like as a potential client. So, I am just going to exit out of this. And this is growing with you every step of the way. I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are like maternity, newborn, maybe milestone. And that's the vibe I'm getting here. And I love that. I love the growing. I love all these deep like brown tones that you have in that other photo. It showed that as well. Reach out today. Let's make some memories. Orlando, newborn photographer. Okay. Okay, so you have four different things. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling. I don't necessarily like that you have four things here because they all have different. Okay, I don't like the button that's covering this baby's eyes. That is so creepy. And I think is it because of my screen? It might be because yeah. Okay, so be aware of what's going on here. I'm on a 24-inch monitor, and this is creepy and weird of what's happening here with this button. So I'm not sure if you want that to be a thing. Honestly, you don't need a button here yet, okay? Because I'm assuming this goes to like your contact. Yeah, it does. So you don't need to link them over to your contact yet. They're not ready to contact you. They're not ready. Reach out. They're not ready for this. They've seen like what, 3 or 4 photos at this point, maybe. So they're not ready for this. This is assuming a lot. We don't want to do that. You know what assuming does, right? Ha ha ha. I love this slide though. Orlando newborn photographer. That specializes in what you do. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so I think that I don't know that you necessarily need words across all of these, and you certainly don't need a button. Okay, I would maybe stick with honestly this Orlando one. I really like the way that looks with the newborn photo, and maybe, but I also like growing with you every step of the way. So I don't know how I'm feeling about this slider as a whole. They're also switching really quickly. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about the slider. It doesn't in capturing memories you'll treasure for years to come. That is like super cliche, like so cliche. All right, and honestly, that's not you. Just for the couple photos I've seen, this is not the vibe you want. Okay, your work is beautiful, by the way. Just the 4 or 5 photos. If that's your quality across the board, you definitely don't need to be using words like capturing memories because everyone who just starts out with photography, like people charging $50 for a session, talks about capturing memories. Okay. So that is what's being compared, even subconsciously. Those kinds of words scream cheap photographer. And I know that sounds really silly, but that's what your potential clients are subconsciously comparing you to when you use really cliched terms like this. So, but this kind of thing, growing with you, that's branding, man. That's beautiful. That's talking to your ideal client in a really wonderful way. Because you're not talking about the photography, you're talking about their life. this is an emotional connection, okay? This is not an emotional connection. This is a cliched photography line that every single photographer hands out. This is thought out. This is emotional. This is talking to their state of life right now. And again, they're not ready to reach out. So I know I have just spent like 4 minutes on your slider, but this is your calling card. This is the very first thing people are going to see when they come onto your website. And you need to make sure that it is like so tight and tailored that there's only one vibe that they get. And it needs to be whatever the vibe is that you want to put forward. Okay? Because right now you've got like 4 different things going on. And honestly, I don't even know if you need words over these photos. Quite honestly. I really don't even know if you need words over the photos, because that's really what this space is for. Okay? This is offering lifestyle studio portraits at our Winter Springs location and sunset sessions in the surrounding area. Okay. Who cares? Nobody cares about this yet. Okay? Honestly, I think you could remove the words from your slider and put them down here. Your top line should be Orlando newborn photographer specializing in studio newborn, baby, maternity, motherhood, and family photography. Like, that's your top line right here. And then your next line should be growing with you every step of the way. And then talk about that. Talk about growth. Talk about this state of life that they're in, about, whether you're pregnant or, whether you're expecting or your baby's already here or they're just growing up too quickly. You want to remember these moments and like talk to them, talk to what they're going through in this like first year of life and all the emotions that they're feeling. It doesn't even have to be about photography, which is why I love this line so much, is that it's not, it is because you're there every step of the way, that you're growing with you, but you don't say, I'm growing with you. You don't say, I'm here for you. You just say, growing with you. So I like that sentiment, and I think you should expand on it here. Don't worry about saying studio portraits and sunset sessions. Like, don't worry about that yet. We're not there. You need to use this space to make an emotional connection, okay? Emotional connection, not a technical one, not what you offer. You do need where you're located, obviously, but really can talk about the emotional aspect of having a baby and what that entails and the things that they might be struggling with. Like my homepage, my main paragraph on it, I don't even talk about photography. Like literally, I don't. It's CaitlinAkins.com. You can literally go look it up. I don't talk about it at all. But I do talk about, because I specialize in newborns, I do talk about their growing family in the season of their life and things that are going on and things that they're worrying about. And that is what you need to do. You need to make an emotional connection. And then you need a call to action. And you do not have a call to action here. And that is a problem. And we'll get to that in a minute, but I'm going to keep scrolling. Hi, I'm Victoria. Oh my God, you're adorable. Okay, and it talks about you. And then portfolio. And then book now. And then your mailer again. Okay. So the very first button technically on your website is the button that's in here, that I'm interested button, which we're going to get rid of that. I don't think you should have words across your photos. Your photos need to stand alone. So then your first link is to your portfolio and then to book now. Okay, so I'm actually going to come back up here because I want to go through what's going on up here. All right, so your top link for portfolio. Does it go somewhere? Check out my latest, oh my God, these little toes. Newborn, maternity, family. Okay, check out my latest work. Okay, that's cool. I would honestly just label this portfolio. And then I would put a little line here that says choose the session type you're interested in or choose the experience you're interested in. I really like the word experience. So I say experience a lot when I'm doing things like this. But I really think it should say portfolio. It should just straight up say what the page is, portfolio, and say Choose the experience you're interested in. So then they know that they have to click on something. Okay? Because check out my latest work. They might just think that they scroll down and like, this is your latest work. And I know that sounds really stupid, but you have to kind of assume people are stupid. Now, I know that's really silly, but you do. You just kind of have to, like, when you're designing your website, pretend that you are sending your website to someone who has never been on the internet before. And I know that's really dumb because like literally everyone has been on the internet, right? But you have to kind of design it with the idea that they don't know how it works. Okay? And they might not. If they've never, ever, ever been to another photographer's website, they might not have any idea how this works. Because there is a chance that they've never been to a photography website before. You might be the first photographer's website they've ever been on. Maybe they only find their photographers through Facebook, right? Which means if they get on your website and they get all confused, then you're screwed. So definitely think about your website in a way that makes it very simple to navigate. So there should be like calls to action on every single page, okay? A clear title of what they're looking at, portfolio, which it does say latest work, which that's fine, but I really like a matching word. So whatever your word is on your menu, I feel like it should be the same on the page, okay? I feel like they should match. But then right below it, you can absolutely say, click below to check out my latest work. If that's the language you want to use, then cool. Or you can say, choose the experience you're interested in or whatever. But you put the direction here, but put the title of the page here, okay? All right, so then we do have to pick a gallery. All right, so I'm going to come into your galleries. Oh my God, look at this little face. Yeah, your work is beautiful. Oh my God, look at these babies. Oh, yeah, this is gorgeous. Your newborn work actually really reminds me of Lindsay Beza's work, which is just, this is stunning. This is beautiful. And you're near me. I'm in Orlando all the time. I live down in Fort Myers area. So I'm only like 2 hours from you, which is kind of cool. It's always fun when I find people who are semi-local. Okay, so we do need information on these pages though. You need some sort of emotional connection, description, something. And I don't mean newborn sessions are held at under 2 weeks old and you'll have your gallery. Like, don't give technical stuff. Okay? Emotional connection. Talk about them. Talk about them having a newborn and this new time in their life and the things that they are going through with a newborn. That's the points you want to hit here. You want to create an emotional connection. Like, this is how you're feeling and this is what you want, right? You tell them how they're feeling and then you show them what they want. It's a beautiful thing, right? And I'm going to assume these are all sort of the same. Okay, I do love that these are all laid out exactly the same. That makes this really easy. So a lot of people have like 3 galleries, but then they all look totally different. And that is really frustrating, especially for a client to come through. You want to make sure everything is uniform. And yours are all uniform. They just need words. When they need words and they need a call to action. Every single page on your website, like we talked about on that portfolio page, we have to have a call to action, right? Choose your experience. Click below to check out my latest work. You're telling them to do something, right? That is something you have to do on every single page on your website. So when you're on these pages, you're going to have to either have a contact me or a learn more or about the experience. You're going to have to guide them somewhere else because right now this page is a dead end. And actually, all of these pages are dead ends because you're not telling them to go anywhere. Once no one is going to scroll to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now, that nobody is going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And if they do, they're probably your ideal client. They're going to book you. But most people are not scrolling all the way to the bottom. They'll scroll like a third to halfway maybe, and then they're going to be looking for a way out of the page. All right? And you have to give them a way out. Do not just let them choose all willy-nilly. All right? You have to give them a way out. So I'm going to hit up your investment page. We're going to see what's going on here. Okay, keynote here. Your pop-up that's happening, it pops up on every single page, which is really annoying. The fact that you have it I think you have it at the bottom of most of your pages, right? Or at least yeah, you have it at the bottom of your pages. I would change the script on that so that once it's exited out of, once they hit the X or once they fill it out, it doesn't pop up for like 30 days or something. Because it's really annoying that it pops up every time I go to a new page. Like, that's an extra click. You're going to irritate people and they're going to exit out of your website if that pops up on every single page if they decide not to fill it out. Okay? So, or set it to only pop up on your home page or something like that. But you need to fix that because it does not need to pop up on every single page every single time. All right, so your investment page, we are jumping straight into just straight pricing. It's pricing. That's what it is. Invest in your most precious memories to look back on and pass down for years to come. Super cliche. I'm not being mean, I promise. I'm just being really straightforward. All sessions are booked with a $100 non-refundable retainer fee that goes toward the overall cost of your session. Payment plans are available upon request. So you're just jumping straight into it here. Okay, and you're $475, $625, $395. You're very cheap, by the way. 30 images for $350. You're literally telling me that your images are only worth $10 a piece. That's like psycho cheap. Motherhood lifestyle, baby milestones. This is bananas. I charge more than that for a singular newborn session. Okay? Like, are you hearing me? This is crazy freaking low. So, this website review is not about pricing, but if I see problems with pricing, I'm absolutely going to say something. And I'm seeing a problem with pricing. Okay? This is crazy pants cheap. Don't care if it's in your home studio. Don't care. This is stupid cheap. Okay? This, like, I just add a family mini session to any milestone for additional $99 for $100. They get their whole family included. Okay, that's not a bad upgrade. But I'm also seeing problems like I don't understand like why we have different pricing for some of these things. Like, honestly, why not charge just $395 and then it doesn't matter what they book? You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of different things going on here and it's too much and it's overwhelming. The quality you're offering, there's no reason that you can't just charge this. I'm serious. Across the board, no matter what. You have one session fee, one price, or create 3 different collections, right? Like 10 images, 20 images, 30 images, or 10, 20 all, or whatever. But this is so much. This is so much. And honestly, your work is beautiful, and there's no reason it can't be really simple for you to create collections. Okay, anyway, that's neither here nor there. This page is not doing you any favors for your website. That is going to be my main point here, is you don't have any emotional connection other than that initial line on your homepage, the growing with you. That's the only emotional connection I've come across on your entire website. And that's a problem. So people aren't booking you through your website because you're coming across, I mean, even though your work is beautiful, your website and the way you talk and the words that you are presenting, are coming across the same as like a $50 or $100 photographer. you're focusing on price and you're using words like capture and your words aren't coming across as a high-end brand. But luckily for you, it's easy to fix. Well, easy-ish to fix. So, honestly, I think this page needs to go away. You need to just hide it. This is something you can send to people after they have contacted you. When they contact you and they're like, yeah, I'd really love to know how much you charge. Great, here is my pricing. Here's my current packages. Here's my current collections. However you want to say it. Here, absolutely. Now, you do need an informational page though. This is a problem. And honestly, I feel like we could guide them straight through your portfolios. I would hide the investment. I want to see what this is. This is your mini sessions. Nah, get rid of this page. You don't need this. You have a blog. This right here, the mini session stuff, this is what you would put in a blog or on your social media. This is not at all what you want as a main page on your website. If you're trying to cultivate a brand, like a high-end brand, if you're trying to book full sessions, if that is your goal, then you don't need to be advertising mini sessions on your main menu. Like at all. All it does is cheapen your brand. Okay. It's one thing if like minis are your specialty thing and that is like what you're known for and what you do, but that's not the vibe I'm getting from your website. So I think you should get rid of this page completely and you should separate out all of those things onto your blog. Like you only have 3 blogs. So yeah, this is perfect. Each mini session can be its own blog post. Pumpkin minis, fall quilt minis, urban minis, studio minis, beach minis, PJ minis. You've got like 6 blog posts right there. And then from the blog, you can link them out to booking. Okay. But this right here is it's not doing any favors to what you're actually trying to book on your website. So I would not put this here at all. Make each one of these session types into a blog with all the information and let them book straight from your blog or straight from your social media. Don't make it its own tab. That is working against you. Okay, so honestly here, you have 2 options, okay? And I'm actually going to take you over to my website for a minute. So actually not yet. So your first option is we need to create not an option. We need to get my brain straight. You have to create a path through your website, okay? So getting them from your home page, getting them from this emotional connection that you're going to put here, over to either one of your galleries or over to an informational page. Now, if you decide, because you're already set up for it here, okay? You could do family, newborn, and maternity. You could have 1 photo of each, put a little bit of text over the top, and have them choose the experience they're interested in. And then it takes them over to one of those 3 galleries, okay? And then you would have information here. And it would need to be more than 3 to 5 sentences, like I said before. The most basic thing you need is like 3 to 5 sentences, but you will need a little bit more if you want them to contact you from this point. But I think you're already sort of set up for this idea of each of these being a button and then linking over to one of your galleries, and then each one of your galleries would have more information and then a button that says contact me. Okay, so then that's your first choice. Your first choice is home, gallery, contact. Home, gallery, contact. Okay, your second option is creating an informational page. And I don't mean your investment page that you currently have. I'm talking a page like this. This is my website. I primarily shoot newborns, so I talk about that. I talk about, and I shoot outdoor newborns. So I talk about outdoors are my specialty, adventurous and relaxed, outside of nature's where you belong. They're my favorite thing, and they're not as crazy as they sound. So I just talk about like what the session entails and what it's about, and kind of why they're wonderful. And then I go into what you get, which I break it down. So similar to your investment page where you break down what they get, I do it, but I don't put my prices. And I'm priced pretty high even for my area. So I want people to reach out to me. I want them to connect. I want them to see what they get. But I don't want them to have my full pricing because if I just put out my full pricing, they have no reason to contact me. See? So what they get, and then I scroll down and I kind of talk about how it works. So we set the date after your baby arrives. Sessions take about 3 hours. You receive your proofs. Still have questions. I have FAQs. If you want to see more photos, here's my portfolio. Or you can contact me. If you still want more, I offer products, and now I'm ready. So I have multiple contact points on my info page. So again, you have 2 options. You can guide them over to your portfolio pages, or you can create a new informational page and then guide them to contact you. So either home portfolio contact or home info contact. Okay. Either way, you do need information on each one of these portfolio pages, no matter what you decide to do. But the link on this portfolio page will depend on the path you decide to create. If you decide to go home portfolio contact, then obviously it's going to be the contact button. If you decide to go home info contact, then the link on this page should be to the info page that you create. So I hope that makes sense. And then investment would be replaced by session info or the experience or whatever you want to call it. So I think you're like, the bones are here and your photos are freaking gorgeous. Honestly, your biggest thing is that you're not making an emotional connection and you're focusing on pricing over everything else. There's also nothing about you. Oh, wait, no, there is about you. It's on your homepage. This, shorten this and you can create a page that's all about you, I guess. I mean, or you can, honestly, you can leave this here. It's not a big deal. However, I would say this. An informational page is probably going to be your best bet because you have a studio. You need photos of your studio, like behind the scenes photos of your studio, not just professional photos taken in it, but photos of it. And I think that could really, really play to your advantage. Did you have any in your blog? What to expect, what to wear, and how many? Okay, hold on. I want to see this. Oh my God, you could use so much of this information on it. You could use so much of this on an informational page. Seriously. You could use so much of this on an informational page. Honestly, I think at this point, an informational page might be your best bet, especially if you take some behind the scenes photos of your studio. Like really show the space and where you work. Even if it's not big, who cares? Like my space isn't big. I mean, I mostly shoot outside, but I do have an office space where people can come. So show it. Show it. That's really what you need. But yeah, I think your best bet is going to be home info contact, which is similar to mine. You start from home, it gets you to the info, and then from info, it gets you over to contact. So that should be your goal, I think. And then your portfolios can just link over to the info page. to learn more about sessions, then it takes you over to an informational page. I think that's your best bet. Get rid of mini sessions, turn those into blogs. That's going to be your best bet. Turn those into blogs. And then either redo or hide the investment page and make it an informational page. Honestly, I would just hide it. That way you can still send it to people after they contact you. But I think you need an informational page. So home, info, portfolio, contact, blog. And that's it. But you got to be making the emotional connections. You've got to work on writing some paragraphs here about this sort of time in their life that they're dealing with each of these types of sessions. So you've got this. Again, your work is freaking gorgeous. So don't be afraid to just talk to people. Don't worry so much about talking about photography or about what you do. Just talk to them like they're people. Talk about this time of their life and what they're going through and what they're dealing with, more than trying to sell them on something. Because your work is beautiful. Your work is going to sell them. But your words have to sell you. And that is just as important as the photos. Okay? All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and good luck.